Hey everyone, Peter Nelson here with Hobie University with yet another tip. I'm sitting here rigging actually a Hobie 17, the riding line for it, and it occurred to me that it's the same on a 17 as it is the 16. First of all, if you're doing class racing, you have to look up what the legal length is, and Hobie has figured out what you need, so it's a good idea because if you get it too short, well, you might be in a problem. So for this boat, anyhow, I like to use polypropylene line. You get the yellow, there was some blue there also, but I got the yellow stuff. It doesn't hold any water. And as many of you know, I'm a stickler about weight. So this is going to do just a fine piece of line. Hopefully I never use it. When I do, it's going to come in just handy. So the first thing I've done is I've tied a bowline around the dolphin striker, whether it's a 17 or a 16. That's what I like to do. I need to point out that this is what I do. And there's all kinds of riding systems out there. I'm a racer, so this is the least weight, the simplest system that's also effective. So I've tied a bowline around the dolphin striker. That's critical. That's a good start. When the boat turtles or not, this will go down to the bottom. I'll get the riding system out from the riding line. I'll take it over the hull, and I'm on the uphill, and I'm standing on the other hull. And actually, I guess it's the other way around, but you get the idea. And so, and then I'm leaning out on this. Now, what I do with my riding line is I like to tie a figure 8 knot at the very end of it. And that's because this line, it's slippery. And you're hanging out and you're trying to get some leverage on it, and your line just slipping down the line. So I got a stopper knot, a figure 8 knot. The other thing I've done is I've tied another stopper knot about an arm's length away, and then a third one. Excuse me. Let me start over here. So I got my first one, then my second one, and I'm pulling it over as the boat's coming over. And look at that, I have a third knot. 3 knots is about all you need, because by that time the boat's coming over. I won't say that I know this from experience, but the reality is that I do. And then what I'm going to do is I will feed this down the center of the lacing. And you're right, when you're flipped, these knots get in the way of extracting it out of the lacing. I don't do every last little one. I go 5 or 6, do another, and just to kind of hold it in place and double back on itself. So it's all right there. And then when I flipped over, the trampoline's available to me, and I just unweave it from there, and I can throw it over the windward hull. If you don't know how to right your boat, that's the first thing you ought to learn. It takes away all the fear. But anyhow, I throw it over the windward hull, and then I start usually on this very first one, and I got my body out of the water. If your body's in the water, you're 165 pounds all of a sudden, or you're 200 pounds, all of a sudden turns into like 80 pounds. You have to keep the body out of the water. And so I just got my whole body out of the water, and I'm just leaning on it. And as the boat starts to come over, I tend to kind of creep up on the line. I'm doing it this way for starters, and as it comes over, I'm bringing it towards me, And about the time that it gets here, now I'm in a position where I can grab this. So then I go like this, and I pull it in close to me. It's coming over. I take one more, and now by this point, it's coming over. And I release it and grab the dolphin. That's another quick lesson on how to write using this simple system. There's Hawaiian riding systems for those of you who don't race and don't care about weight, and there's a bunch of other systems, but this has worked the best for me. Thanks for watching.